Early October 2018, something quite out of the ordinary happened in the old computerosphere. A basement full of computers, parts and server equipment, all of those many Pentium Pro related, came for sale for cheap near Chicago. Users Luckybob and Liqmatrix teamed up and went to grab everything as fast as they could. Pentium Pros are rare, evidently sought after by many retro enthusiasts, so they traveled 1,600 plus kilometers to grab the lot before someone else did. And even though they had originally agreed on Saturday as a pickup date, turns out the seller wanted everything gone on Friday, and guess what? It was already Friday! So hurry they did. There was enough boxes to fill a 16-foot-long truck. They had saved a huge chunk of retro material from the clutches of gold scrappers. Good intentions didn't stop there, as they created a Discord channel for a few select people, of which I was part of, surprisingly, where the objective was to share their haul with the community with ultra-low prices to start, in an effort to counter the rising and often absurd prices currently listed for material from the 90s. My shopping list went through a couple of variations, and after a little back and forth with Liqmatrix, we settled on a few parts, and he then shipped them fast. Thanks to recent advances in space folding technology, the package arrived in great shape and thus began the unboxing of my small share of the Great Pentium Pro Haul of 2018. On a side note, I totally approve of the IKEA stuff. I like it. Let's cut this open and spill the goodies everywhere. First up, some bubble wrap. No packing peanuts. I'll thank you eternally for this great service to humanity. Then a cushion bag of miscellaneous goodies that we'll detail in just a moment. Out comes a Gigabyte motherboard box, which will probably contain something more interesting than Gigabyte gear, some drivers, floppy drive cables, and more drivers. Let's dig in the main box some more. A second motherboard box that I have to release from its soft, smooshy prison at once. Spacewalker? Never heard of those, but again, the box does not represent what's inside. Are you ready? I'm ready. In here I find some keyboard lock keys, onboard controller card cables, AT backplate for ATX case, and the pièce de résistance, my long-awaited Pentium Pro board with Pentium Pro processor. This one in particular clocks at 200 MHz and has 512 kilobytes of cache. 4 PCI slots, 4 ISA slots, onboard hard disk and floppy connectors. It looks absolutely pristine. It has a Dallas chip for timekeeping, which is my only quote-unquote fear for this piece, but even then I'll just desolder it if necessary. Looking at the quality of this board for the price I paid, this is almost unbelievable, but Liqmatrix said he wanted to get those items in the hands of dedicated collectors, and I really believe him now. But let's backtrack a bit and return to the first motherboard box we haven't yet opened, and with a swift knife movement we get some controller card wires, one very lonely riser screw, and a cherry on the cake for this order, at least for me, the 46 motherboard. Fully populated cache, 4 ISA slots, 3 PCI slots, accepts 2 types of RAM, 80 form factor, and a coin cell battery, which is very rare for 46 equipment. Again, the thing looks brand new and so much better than my 2 current boards that I have to repair, or sell, or scrap because of battery leakage. So frustrating for such nice boards. Let's take a quick look at the rest of the cool stuff I was sent. A controller card, an ISA-only Oak video card, a VLB Cirrus Logic video card that I can't wait to try, as I have zero experience with VLB equipment. Some software and drivers that I'll archive on VOGONS drivers eventually, Sound Blaster CD-ROM drive drivers and manuals, and that's about it. So here's a quick recap of my small share. A pristine 46 board, a VLB Cirrus Logic video card, pristine Pentium Pro motherboard with a Pentium Pro processor already installed. That thing is huge. An Oak ISA video card, some assorted drivers, an AT backplate, keyboard lock keys, since I had no keys to fit my many locks, floppy cables with the edge connector, controller cables for both motherboards, CD-ROM drivers, and a simple ISA controller card. Overall, these parts have cost me a meager $110 combined, not including shipping. I even asked him if he made any money on this since the price was so low, and Liqmatrix's answer was that he would rather recoup most of the cost with his subsequent sales on eBay, not really with buyers like me. That means he's doing me and the retro enthusiast community as a whole a huge favor by keeping the prices low, all while introducing fresh new material in the market. And honestly, it's a huge gift he's making to the whole community. Thank you. This is an amazing moment in my short collecting history, and it's all because of you both, Liqmatrix and Luckybob. Thank you, both of you. Again, thank you for watching the sound card database, and see you next time.